just like that, I'm back. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Some breaking news coming in the last couple of minutes. It looks like this Harry Maguire deal to West Ham could be off, or at the very least on the verge of collapse, according to reports coming out in the last few minutes. Now, everyone is running with the story suggesting that West Ham are moving on to other targets. We kind of spoke about this just not even that long ago, about 45 minutes ago, or a couple of hours ago, saying that the deal was stalling. At the time, I was still confident that it would get done, or certainly I said we're going to find out very quickly whether or not this one's going to happen. And as of right now, it's not happening. It looks like it's, again, off. It's being described as some by off, being described as some as stalling, being described as some as unlikely, but it does look like, again, Harry Maguire to West Ham does not look like it's going to happen, or at the very least, again, has stalled massively. Now, again, some people are saying that, oh, I've seen the chat already, it hasn't collapsed. Read the full article. Classic BS clickbait. I wish this was classic BS clickbait or stuff like that. We don't really try and do that here. But according to the article here from Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian, he is saying that West Ham's move for Harry Maguire off after they grow tired of waiting. It's also, again, being reported by some that it's stalling. It might not be off. It is being said that maybe West Ham could come back in for him at a later date, but some are describing it as being off at this point. So everyone's going to be filing in very, very quickly. Let me get into some of these details as to what these people are saying. Again, it's quite a few people now jumping on it. Again, the exclusive came from Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian, who kind of had been saying yesterday, we just spoke about, didn't we, that he had been saying that West Ham were growing increasingly frustrated. They felt that the deal was stalling, and they felt that they were going to have to look to other targets, despite the fact that they had a deal agreed with Man United for Harry Maguire, 30 million quid, despite the fact they had personal terms agreed with Harry Maguire. The main issue was his exit from Manchester United, what his payoff would be from the club. Because of that, the deal has slowed down, it's stalled, and now West Ham are possibly looking at other targets, so this one could be off. So this is what the article says. Harry Maguire's £30 million move to West Ham has collapsed after the club grew tired of waiting for the defender to agree his exit from Manchester United. Although there is a chance the deal could be revived, it's not going ahead at the moment. West Ham have grown frustrated over the delay and are looking at alternative options in central defence. Maguire had settled personal terms with West Ham, but the club have been waiting for the England international to agree a payoff from Manchester United. The 30-year-old received a considerable salary increase as a result of United qualifying for the Champions League and would be on less money at West Ham. He is thought to want around £7 million to leave Old Trafford. So again, Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian is saying that the deal has collapsed, and as of right now it's off, but a revival could happen if indeed a payoff is agreed upon. Sky Sports' Dharma Chef is saying that Harry Maguire's move from from Manchester United to West Ham United is stalling. West Ham agreed a deal with United. However, it's thought Maguire's exit from Old Trafford has not been resolved. West Ham still keen, but remain looking at other options. It has just also been reported in the last few minutes, I believe, from Samuel Luckhurst, suggesting that, again, this deal now looks unlikely, is what he's describing it as. Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News saying that Manchester United accepted a £30 million offer from West Ham for Harry Maguire, but a source has said to Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News, the deal is now unlikely. So, again, the suggestion is that some are saying it's off, some are saying it's off for now, some are saying that it's collapsed, some are saying that it's collapsing, some are saying that it's stalling. The point being is, it's now looking less likely, certainly, that the transfer is going to go ahead because of this issue regarding the payoff for Harry Maguire. So let me know your thoughts about that in the live chat. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Of course, we're not going to be live for the whole hour. Just came off the boarding show, egg on my face, saying about that I was still confident the one would happen. I mean, I was saying that I didn't expect anything to happen prior to the Wolves game because Erik ten Hag had said it in his press conference. Is he going to be available? Of course. But I felt that if we hadn't heard anything by Thursday, we would be looking at a situation whereby, this doesn't look good. The fact that now they're suggesting that, no, we now know today that this one doesn't look good. This deal doesn't look good. This one doesn't look like now it's now going to happen. Some people, again, I see this a lot in the chat here saying, low-key, the deal isn't off, you muppet. all I can do is say what is being reported there. When Jacob Steinberg is going with an exclusive saying West Ham's move for Harry Maguire off after they grow tired of waiting, or the first line of the article is Harry Maguire's £30 million move to West Ham has collapsed after the club grew tired of waiting for the defender. That's all you can. That's all I can do. Don't shoot the messenger when it comes to this one. Okay. Again, that's what the Guardian are saying. Others are saying there is a varying spectrum of people describing this one. There are others suggesting, like Darmashef, saying that it's stalling. So they're not saying that one is off. Darmashef is saying it's stalling. You've got other people like Samuel Lutka saying it now looks unlikely. The point being is that this one doesn't look like it was as straightforward as going ahead. As it maybe was a few days ago. Super chat from Andy says, Owen, why are you raging and getting memed? That means no Pavard or Todibo, right? He will stay now, too late to do a deal with another club. Thoughts? Do you mean why aren't you raging and getting memes? Or why are you? I'm not sure with that one. But I was going to bring up, appreciate the segue. I was going to bring up the ramifications of this, of course. And the ramification is, as you mentioned there, no replacement. The whole point of Maguire leaving is that we were going to get this replacement in. It was going to be most likely probably Pavard, or if it wasn't going to be Pavard, it would be Todibo. That conversation's a moot point now. That conversation is redundant. That conversation, there's no point even having that conversation because we don't have the money to do it. We don't have the money and we don't have the FFP wiggle room, even though we know FFP is all rubbish. But that's not happening now because that was dependent on Harry Maguire leaving. And if the suggestion is now Harry Maguire's not leaving, then then what are we doing? And it goes back to, and there have been rumblings about this, haven't there? There have been rumblings in the last few days looking at the outgoings at Manchester United. And I think people had praised John Murtough to an extent this season we got 3 signings in the door before the beginning of the season. The prices were fairly decent in comparison to prices in the past. But the real crux of it would be what is United's capability of selling players? What's the capability of moving players on this summer? And we've moved on, Tellez, Zidane, Iqbal, Alanga, 15 million. Fred's just gone. I don't even know the price for what Fred's gone for. But it was really these key big deals of moving these players on. Suddenly, Donny van der Beek, we don't really know what's happening with him. Again, it doesn't look like he's going to Sociedad. And that started off as a permanent deal. Then that turned into a loan. Then that turned into that's not happening. As I spoke about earlier on this morning, that's now turned into well, he might go to Ajax, but that's a massive domino effect of Paquetá to City, Kudus to West Ham, and then Donny to Ajax. So you're going to have to be waiting ages and ages and ages and ages with that one. This one, I said before, £30 million, I thought was pretty close to a fair price for Harry Maguire because of this, the wages, and surely United would have... This is what I don't get with this bit here. So, by all accounts, the hang-up's the payoff. Harry Maguire wants £7 million to leave Old Trafford. Surely they would have known in any instance that they were going to sell Harry Maguire this summer, which everyone knew was the right move. Surely they would have had a number in their mind of what we've got to pay Harry Maguire off for. They would have known that. No club in world football, even the Saudis, if they came in, nobody's giving Harry Maguire 190k a week, which is what his wages currently are, close to 200k a week. They would have known that. So they should have had a number. They should have had a number in their mind of what they were comfortable with. And the fact that, they're dilly-dallying about this number, or I don't know. Because they're going to have to pay him off. They're going to have to pay him off. Because Harry Maguire will say, I've got 2 years left on my contract. It's nearly 200k a week. I'm cutting my wages in half. This is very common. This is very common in these kind of transfer situations where they take a pay cut. Is that they look for, they're looking for a bit extra to sort of bridge the gap. So United would have found a number, and for the sort of the haggling over that number, they might have even lost out on the deal. Now, you could argue that, well, United are sort of haggling over the number because they want to make sure from an FFP point of view they've got enough to go get a Pavard or they've got enough to go get a Todibo. But at the same time, if you're haggling this much and the deal's off and it's collapsed, well, you're not going to get the replacement anyway. You're just going to be stuck with Maguire. And now, once again, we've got a player at the club who... even, I mean, I don't even know about, he wants to, prove himself or anything like that. But now we've got a player at the club that he was happy to leave. We were happy for him to go. We know he's not going to play. We know he's not suited to the style of football. We know what the manager thinks of him. And I know Ten Hag can come out in the press and say these things. Oh, Harry, he can prove himself and what he said in this press conference. But everyone knows the true situation with Harry Maguire at United. He is 4th choice, maybe even lower than that. Maybe even 5th choice. It's over. It's over. And for this deal to possibly collapse or fall through or for right now be off over the haggling of the exit fee is nonsense. And maybe this could just be all posturing. Maybe this could be all, as I mentioned, a situation whereby it's just... I know West Ham trying to put pressure on Manchester United, speed it up, sort it out, put pressure on Maguire as well, maybe to say, look, we want you, but we're not going to sit around forever, And if you're Gareth Southgate again, and by all accounts, Gareth Southgate did say to Harry Maguire, he said, look, Harry, I can't. It's going to be really difficult. I want to pick you for the Euros next year, but it's going to be really difficult for me to justify that selection if you don't play all season. Again, for a second year. I can't justify that. So everyone was kind of in agreement. Yep, he's going to move on. United are going to get in. Pavard, he's going to go there. He's going to play all season. He's going to play in the Euros. Good, good, good. If I'm Gareth Southgate again, I'm picking up the phone to Harry Maguire and going, sort it out. Sort it out. And if I'm Harry Maguire, I'm then saying to United, sort it out. So, look, there is a potential, and they even say it in these reports, that it could be revived, There is a potential that it could be revived, and maybe it is just a thing of, okay, let's get this all done. Let's get this all sorted out quickly. But as of right now, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And again, if Maguire doesn't go, then say goodbye to bringing in Pavard. Say goodbye to getting into Todibo, because that one isn't happening. That one is off. Then we are just talking about maybe we're just bringing in Amrabat. But certainly, I was much more confident in seeing Maguire leave and bringing in, irrespective of if it was Pavard or Todibo, they were an improvement. They were more of an asset to our squad. I was more comfortable with having them in our squad and being utilised throughout the season. Because again, no disrespect to Maguire, and I do think people take it too far when it comes for him and all that kind of stuff, but he's just not good enough and he's just not suited. He doesn't have the capabilities to play how Ten Hag wants him to play. For the sake of his career, he needs to leave. For the sake of United, we need to bring someone in that is in the better image and vision of the manager. Maguire and that, they are mutually exclusive. They are two different things. And again, it's just if this one does collapse on the basis of an exit payment, or again bridging the back, compensation, whatever you want to call it, it's laughable, really. Andy says, I meant, why are you not raging? Yes, I hate Maguire. Well, I don't hate Harry Maguire. Again, this is where I think people take it too far with stuff like this, because hate's a very strong word. I don't hate many people. Okay, I don't hate many people, but we saw it in terms of, again, the situation in Dublin. We saw it in Dublin. The situation is toxic. Again, it's over. It's not feasible for him to stay. That's it. And my hope is certainly, again, that this is all just posturing to get things done, to speed things up, West Ham growing frustrated, and to get people concerned. Simon Stone has reported as well, and he's going along down the same line that some of the others are saying, maybe not going as far to say that it's off or it's collapsed. He has said, quote, West Ham's attempts to sign Harry Maguire are not over, but are regarded as stalled. So that line of stalling, I don't know whether that's come from United. I don't know whether that's come from West Ham, but certainly if you were to have a status update on this deal at the moment, it is being regarded as stalled. Some people, as I mentioned, Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian, are suggesting that it's off and it's collapsed. Maybe that is too much to say. I don't know. I think it's probably accurate to say for now it's off. Because again, it's not happening. As of for now, it's off. If you are just joining us again, be sure to click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Once again, just to read out some of the reporting surrounding this in the last few minutes or so. It is a developing story. Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian is saying, Harry Maguire's £30 million move to West Ham has collapsed after the club grew tired of waiting for the defender to agree his exit from Manchester United. Although there is a chance the deal could be revived, it is not going ahead at the moment. West Ham have grown frustrated over the delay and are looking at alternative options in central defence. Maguire had settled personal terms with West Ham, but the club have been waiting for the England international to agree a payoff from Manchester United. The 30-year-old received a considerable salary increase as a result of United qualifying for the Champions League and would be on less money at West Ham. It's been reported that possibly he could be looking at something around £100,000 a week. United, he's on basically double that. He is thought to want about £7 million to leave Old Trafford. Again, so Jacob Steinberg saying it's collapsed, it's off for now, but it could be back on. Other people being a bit less harsh with it. Dharma Chef from Sky Sports saying, Harry Maguire's move from Manchester United to West Ham is stalling. West Ham agreed a deal with United. However, it's thought Maguire's exit from Old Trafford has not been resolved. West Ham's still keen, but remain looking at other options. Which, to be honest, again, the news about United, West Ham being frustrated. We spoke about that this morning, that they were frustrated that it was stalling. And now I guess that's more the general consensus, is that it's definitely stalling. And it had been reported prior to that the reason, because you would think logically, in most circumstances, right? In most circumstances, when you've got a fee agreed between the two clubs and personal terms agreed, 99% of transfers, it's done then. It's done. So for it to fall apart over, I want to be paid off the rest of my contract, I want this, that, and the other, that is so... it's just never easy. It's never easy with this club. I swear to God. It's just so frustrating. And again, Simon Stone saying that West Ham's attempts to sign Harry Maguire are not over, but regarded as stalled. That's the latest from him. Samuel Luckhurst did also say, it must be said, he has said that Manchester United accepted a £30 million offer from West Ham for Harry Maguire, but a source said the deal is now unlikely. I will put a poll in the chat for you guys. I will put a poll in the chat and I will ask you, do you think this deal will get done? That will be the question. Here we go. Do you think Harry Maguire will move to West Ham? Question mark. Poll is in the chat, because some will still say, look, don't be overreactionary. This one is still going to happen. This is just, again, posturing. This is just, West Ham trying to speed things up. Trying to sort of, because it depends who West Ham are trying to put pressure on. Then West Ham may still be in communication with Harry Maguire, and Maguire might be in communication with West Ham going, look, I'm definitely going to join, all this kind of stuff. I just want to get my money, basically. I just want to get what I think I'm owed. And West Ham might be saying to him, look, okay, that's fine. Make sure you do it quick. And then maybe Maguire says to West Ham, look, United aren't really playing ball with me at the moment. I want to get what I feel like I'm earned. And now you go, well, let's put something out there. Let's speed them up. Because from United's point of view, Erik ten Hag, think of from Erik ten Hag's perspective, yeah? Erik ten Hag's perspective will be, what the F is going on? What are we doing here? Erik ten Hag's like, I'm chatting to Pavard. I'm chatting to Pavard's agents. Go to John Murtough going, are we saying this isn't going to happen? Because I think once Erik ten Hag has made his mind up, there was a couple of day period of, you're definitely going to go. United are just waiting to see who's their preferred option to replace him, who they want to bring in. After going through all of that sort of due diligence and deciding that, okay, we want to go in the Pavard direction, and think about Pavard's mindset too. Pavard's liking Rafael, or commenting on Rafael Varane's Instagram post. He's told Bayern Munich he wants out. He said he's hell-bent on moving to United. That's what he wants. And then for everything, just like the domino effect to not happen because of, again, an exit payment would be farcical, really. So I still do think this one is possible, that indeed it can happen. But again, the polls have only been in for a minute, and it's close. And I you know what? I think that's probably a fair reflection on how I'm feeling at the moment, that it could go either way. It's already in for a minute. The question was, do you think Harry Maguire will move to West Ham? 48% say yes, 52% say no. It was just a minute ago. It was 49-51. So it's close. It's close. I think that, like I said, the confidence certainly isn't there that it was this morning or yesterday. It's really 50-50. And I think that's a fair reflection. Let's see what people are saying in the chat here. Broderick, one of our members, says, how does Maguire leaving improve our build-up play? Can't believe we're getting distracted by this. Can't wait for Spurs. Need a reaction. Big up home for the extra time stream. Well, again, I think what you could argue with that about Maguire leaving, improving our build-up play, is you bring someone in that's possibly better at the build-up play, or is a better option. And that's the thing. We need options. Last night, for instance, when Lisandro Martinez came off, and the reasons as for why he came off have been a bit disputed. I've seen people talking about, look, he was on a booking, he was being reckless, he could have been sent off. So Ten Hag took him off. I know that Varane did an interview after the game saying actually Martinez kind of was feeling something in his ankle by all accounts, and because of that maybe he came off. But Lindelof came on and I think he did well. But I think Ten Hag might look at that and go, if I could have bring on like Pavard in that situation, that ain't bad, you know. The replacement option's better. It's an upgrade. Either one, whether it's Pavard or Todibo, is an upgrade. And I think that's what it's about too. It's about moulding the squad in an image that's closer to what Ten Hag wants. And let's face it too, I know Pavard would be on higher wages than Todibo, but I don't think either's going to be on the wage that Harry Maguire was on. Harry Maguire is on, again, nearly 200k a week. Neither Pavard or Todibo is going to be on that amount of money. So it'd also be about bringing the wage bill down too. It's a win-win for everyone. And like I said, for it to fall apart based on this is just ridiculous. Andy says, Owen, you're the finance guy. Why is Maguire demanding I'm not the finance guy. Why is Maguire demanding a payout? Many players sold who have years on their contract don't ask for a payout. Why is he though? Because most of the time, and I think this might be the part of it, is because a lot of the times when transfers happen, not all the time, but most of the time, it's of the mindset of they're getting better contracts than they're currently on. Not every time, obviously, but a lot of the time they'll be thinking that. From his perspective, he might think, I'm on such a drastic wage drop that I want to get the money that I would get on this contract. Sometimes the club that's buying you, they'll make that up to you too. They'll say, here you go, we'll give you this big signing on bonus. It makes up what you were owed on your current contract plus some more sort of thing. Clearly, West Ham in this instance aren't doing that, you know, and Maguire wants to get what he contractually is obligated to. That's part of the problem as well. Again, it's not that's not uncommon. It's just the way in which it's orchestrated. Sometimes it comes from the selling club. Sometimes it comes from the buying club as well. What else are people saying in the chat here at the moment? Wayne says all players who leave for a club for smaller wage get compensation. Again, because they believe that's what they're, and they are. Again, it's just a case of sometimes who bridges the gap. Sometimes, as I mentioned, it's the club that's selling. Sometimes it's the club that's buying as well. What else are people saying here? Ash says, Maguire needs to review what the top teams in the league need. West Ham are the only team in the Premier League playing in Europe looking for a centre-back. This is his only opportunity to get into a decent team this season. Well, I totally agree, Ash. I think he should look at West Ham. I think he should look at, okay, what options have I got on the table? I know that there had been, I think Romano said, other Premier League clubs interested, but not at the level that West Ham are interested. West Ham are the only club that's put an offer on the table. West Ham are the only one that's put money down. And I know they haven't had the best summer, but I'd argue in terms of the signings they've made so far, Alvarez from Ajax, I think, is a really shrewd bit of business from West Ham. I really do. I mean, he was being linked to Chelsea last year. He's linked to us as well. I think probably just because of the Eric Ten Hag effect, but it's a good signing. James Ward-Prowse, I think, is another good signing. There's reports they might get Kudus from Ajax to replace Paquetá. which again I think will be a good bit of business. And as you mentioned, they're going to be in the Europa League because they won the Europa Conference League. So in terms of the options that are on the table for him, you've got regular football. By all accounts, he was promised the captaincy as well. I don't know how accurate that was. But with all of those things, you would say, okay, again, figure it out. In United as well. Figure it out, come to a compromise. And it must be said, it's not to say that a compromise can't be reached. By what people are saying here and what the journalists and the articles are saying here, the reason for the stalling is because this compromise is taking time. And a bit like with United in these situations, they're slow. They're slow to arrange this. And West Ham, rightfully so, are saying, what's the hold up here? This is nothing on us. What are we waiting around for? We've agreed a fee with you. We've agreed personal terms with the player. He should be doing a medical right now. This is stupid. Why is it taking so long? And we don't know what timeline of things they've been told. We don't know if United or Maguire had told them, yeah, it's going to be done in like a day. It'll be fine. No problem. We don't know that. And I think West Ham would be right to be frustrated with that. Saying, we've negotiated, we've done the due diligence, all this kind of stuff. If you're going to mess us around, we'll go elsewhere. But in the same vein of how United threatened to go elsewhere and United threatened to do other deals in this window, whether it was Caicedo when we were interested in Mount, and everyone knew we were not going in for Caicedo, or with Onana, whether it was, keep Dean Henderson, or it was for Højlund, it was we're going to go for Colomwani, or we'll go for someone else. There is part of me that still says, when you've come this far into a transfer, that you've agreed a fee and you've agreed personal terms, are you really willing to walk away because you're not happy with the pace in which a compensation payment is being done? Are you willing to just move on to something else and then have to start again on something else, unless you've done the legwork on that deal? But no deal for a centre-back, as far as I've seen, and I'm not a West Ham fan, but no deal for a centre-back is as far advanced as it was for Harry Maguire. And still, as much as the United fans can slam Maguire, it's a good signing for them. Like, it is. He's England international, former United captain. So, I do think part of it might be posturing. I think that might be. Let's have a look at the super chats again. V33 says send Bin Maguire to the reserves and he will get the F out. Well, look, if he stays around, he's not going to be going in the reserves or anything like that. It'll be what he was last season, which is continuously on the bench. He might play in the Carabao Cup, but that's about it. The only way he'll get first team football in the Premier League is that if Martinez, Varane get injured, and even then it might be Shaw and Lindelof realistically. So it's, again, the writings, I don't even know how many more times I need to say it. The writing's firmly on the wall. Some people saying they don't like Pavard. Some people saying they do in the chat. Savage says this Maguire situation is basically another situation that makes the club look bad, and this is so annoying. Absolutely, it is really annoying. And as I mentioned, for this to fall through based on we can't agree compensation is dumb. really dumb. AMG says West Ham need to pay the guy proper wages for Maguire. That's why they got him cheap. They got him cheap because his contract's so big. Because in their mind, they they're going, well, for this kind of deal, we'd have to have his wages so big, it's going to have to be lower. But it's again incredibly frustrating. The poll, once again, it's been now in for 10 minutes, and it is tight. It is very, very tight. The question was, do you think Harry Maguire will move to West Ham? Got nearly, was coming up to probably about 450 votes. And 49% of you say yes, 51% say no. So incredibly close as to what the future is going to be for Harry Maguire. It's definitely on a knife edge at the moment. But that is the latest news when it comes to Harry Maguire and Manchester United. This move to West Ham, according to The Guardian, they're saying it's collapsed. It's off for now. Could go back in the future. Sky Sports, BBC are saying that it's stalled or stalling. The Manchester Evening News saying it's looking unlikely. So there you go, guys. I mean, it's constant, isn't it? Nevertheless, stay tuned because more content on the horizon. I believe FIFA is back today. Is today the day? Is today the day that Flay G gets the save? I mean, if they're playing, yes. I mean, simple answer, yes, it will be. The day they get the sack. V33 says, Maguire says to the bench, bench, acknowledge me.
What is going on here?
I don't know what's going on here, Ty. I don't. Anyway, guys, that's a bit of a emergency update. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in this morning for the 9 a.m. show, which now looks incredibly foolish. And now this sort of emergency stream. Smash a like on the like button on the way out. Over 1,000 people watching. Only 132 likes. I know, again, people are very staggered by this news. So there you go. As I mentioned, guys, FIFA is on the horizon. Flex and KG show coming up later today. So stay tuned. Check out all of last night's content as well. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.